I've been having a harder time lately. It's a hard time of year, and there's some external factors too. But it means that the harder a time I'm having, if I do not feel like I have safety with someone, I am even more out of my body and more dissociated from my body, because that's how we all coped with the torture, was to leave the body and to breathe so tightly and barely at all that it would facilitate that. And I still breathe that way. I can't seem to stop that. But so I was getting an IV last week at my naturopathic clinic. And so with the naturopath who gives me an IV, I don't have the safety that I do with my regular naturopath. And I was so out of my body that she always puts like a heat pack on me to try and make it easier to get my veins. And she put it on me. And I thought, for the first few minutes, I thought, well, they didn't heat it up. They put it on, but they forgot to heat it up. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it at all. And then after a few minutes, I thought, it feels like it's burning me. And I suddenly was more in my body, but it took me that delayed reaction. But of course, I felt like it was burning me, but I didn't tell her and I didn't move it or anything, because I'm just used to living with pain, and it feels like such a little thing, right? It is a little thing in comparison. Later, when I got home, there was this giant red patch on like my hand and my wrist because it had been so hot, the heating pad. But I didn't even feel it for the first few minutes. And of course, I didn't move it and I didn't tell her. And that's because it's been a harder time, and I was having a really rough day that day, and I don't have that level of safety with her. If I have safety with someone, I would be more in my body and I could tell them. And like sometimes at home, I'll be like dissociating from my body, not feel anything, and then suddenly I will notice like how badly my back is hurting, how badly my neck is hurting, but I wasn't paying attention to it. And then I have trouble doing anything to take care of it because I was never taken care of, and I always had to just endure pain, submit to pain, get through pain, but never ever taken care of, except for in a really brusque way when they did it to bring down swelling or tearing or like internal tearing or any marks that would have shown on the outside to anyone else. And it was cursory and it was like impersonal and it was brusque or even mean, but it was only to make sure that there weren't visible signs that someone would notice, or to make sure that I was serviceable for the next man or woman. It is really hard for me to physically take care of my body, except for like trying to eat healthy and trying to take supplements that help and things like that. But to stay in my body and to feel pain and then actually take care of it, I am so much more used to and more comfortable with dissociating out of my body, numbing my experience of my body, and enduring. But I want to try and change that, and I am more in my body now than I used to be, which is healthy, and it is not fun, but it is healthier. And I'm trying to do that more, and I still have more work to do. But it was extreme torture, and it was most of my life, and it makes sense in the context. And I'm working on my healing. It is harder to be in our bodies, but it is healthier, and I hope you can do that too.